Back. My name is Yamsuf Arif, and this is the Real Talk for Real People study show. If you're not familiar with it, we were on Blog Talk radio station for about, give or take, 11 years. But we had to transition over to Yardstream because of the fact we were having difficulties. By virtue of that show, we're trying to get on time to give a quality study session. I, along with Brother Cartrill of New York City, Nisanya, who is my co-host, and Sister Nisanya, who is my wife and my administrator of this study session. And it is a live show going to Facebook, YouTube, and so on and so forth to ensure that everyone have an ample opportunity to study the Most High Word. We like to give you book, chapter. We don't like to go to a skip to the loo, my darling, go here, there, and everywhere. We focus primarily on one chapter and one chapter alone. That being said, we're still really waiting on Brother Cartrill. But before he come, I'd like to give some thanksgiving to the Most High, as we all should, every day of our lives. I'd like to thank the Most High for the opportunity to study the Most High Word on the Real Talk for Real People show. I'd like to thank the Most High for the opportunity to transition over to a better quality station where we can ensure that everyone gets a quality study session. Some of you like to have leaders in your life. Brother Cartrill and I, we don't see ourselves as leaders per se, other than being elders. But we see ourselves as fellow students, as all students should have the same mindset, studying the word of the Elohim. And Brother Cartrill has just texted me while I was talking. And, okay. So bear with me a minute. Okay, he said he don't hear anything on the platform today. Let me see. Let me tell him. You just have to hit the link. Oh, he said he's coming on now. All right, he's coming on now. That being said, I'd like to give thanks to the Most High for an opportunity to transition over to a better quality show that we can present the Most High Word with you, for you, and so you can have some understanding and some wisdom by virtue of those words. We are honored to be on the Real Talk for Real People show again, and we are live going universal for us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and so on and so forth. We'll continue to expand the study show. We're working out the kinks. We'd like to thank the Most High for the opportunity to be fellow students, let's say that, and study the Most High Word. Praise Yah and bless His holy name for everything, every iota, every ounce, every compartment of my life. Because if it wasn't for the Most High, there would be no Yamsuf Arif, and the opportunity to have my soul restored for His name's sake. I'd like to thank the Most High for my wife, who's the administrator on this show, my brother and friend, who's my fellow elder and co-host of this talk show, who's been with me for quite a while on the Blog Talk radio station, which we transitioned from. And I'd like to thank you fellow students out there in Radio Land who are listening to us live for the opportunity to study with you. That being said, praise Yah and bless His holy name. Let me bring my wife, she can bring herself on. Nisanya, may the Most High bless you. Your mic is hot.
Shalom, shalom, family, all praises.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nisanya. Now, my brother and friend, a fellow elder, and a brother that was standing in the gap with you, Brother Cartrill of New York City. Brother Cartrill, your mic is hot. Praise Yah. Unmute yourself, brother.
Shalom, shalom, family. Bless Yah, oh my soul, and all that's within me. Bless His holy name. All praise, honor, and glory to the Holy One of Yisrael, the Elohim of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael. Thanking him for all things and everything. Praise Yah. Brother Yasuf, Sister Nasanya, and the family that's out there, how y'all doing? The Most High bless y'all.
Thank you very much. Thank you for asking, Brother Cottrell. We're doing rather well, and we're grateful that you asked, and we asked the same thing in regards to you and your family. Praise Yah.
All praises. I had to find another route to get here because I tried to get into the email I had yesterday, but that didn't work. It put me on yesterday's page.
Oh, how'd you go about doing that, brother?
I don't know. I did something, but I'm here now.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be, because this is supposed to be a consistent page that you don't have to keep sending the link out. So, but I'm glad you figured it out, Brother Cottrell. Praise the Most High.
Praise Yah.
Well, fellow students, our brothers and sisters, and people of different nations, if you're ready to find out the truth, if you're a truth seeker, we're here to seek the truth. And we're ready to get started in that. We will start in Nehemiah, the 4th chapter. We'll start off, but we will end up with Brother Cottrell concluding the studies tonight in the book of Daniel, chapter 7. Chapter 7, the vision of the 4 beasts. Praise the Most High. That being said, if Brother Cottrell is ready, Sister Nasanya is ready, fellow students, you're ready, we're ready.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get started. Let me give you some idea of what's going on here. And it goes to what contemporary life is all about. Let's be honest about that. Ain't nobody gonna give you no free ride in life. You think you're gonna get a free ride? I strongly advise and suggest that you aren't. But beyond that, you should know what side your bread is buttered on, as far as the Most High is concerned. You should be always prepared to meet your enemies. I'm not saying going out there with a slingshot and all that kind of stuff. Be prepared to defend yourselves, as our ancients were in the land, coming from the Babylonian captivity. They couldn't do much, but they could defend themselves, and they were prepared to do that. And not only were they prepared to defend themselves, they were prepared to do constructive and positive action as far as the rebuilding of that temple, the temple wall. And you know, our ancients, they could walk and chew gum at the same time, unlike some of us. Unfortunately, because of social engineering and conditioning under the guise of universal white race supremacy, the last kingdom. And it's just not a region per se. That's why I call it universe. It controls every aspect and a component of our lives. The World Bank, the World Health, the world everything. They got everything under control. But that's going to end just like every other kingdom before its time. And it has no restrictive border per se. They have no reason. That's why some brothers and sisters, well, some Hamites in their country are under the control of it, because these people can't even create their own fabrics and so on and so forth. They send them garbage from the USA by way of Salvation Army. Say, here these clothes, you wear them. Don't make no garments because we're not going to let you put them on the market. So if that ain't universal, I don't know what is. So you must understand what the 4th kingdom is. A lot of you per se think it's just a landmass. No, it's not. It's a universal concept by certain people that believes in it. It's just that simple. The last kingdom. A loose conglomerate of different nations that subscribe to that. So let us get started. But so it happened when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, that he was furious and indignant, and mocked the Yehudites. Indignant, and he mocked the Yehudites. People gonna mark your efforts and be prepared for it. Don't think they're gonna give you a parade. Okay, if you're doing what's right, like I said, don't suspect that people are just gonna offer you a parade. It just don't work that way. Okay. And you may ask, who was he? He wasn't a Hebrew. He was more along the Ammonites and some other nations that were on hand, the Arabs, the Asdotites, some of the people that were against us, our ancients, in the rebuilding of that temple. Not the temple, but the wall around it, and the temple eventually. And they didn't give him, his kind didn't give him a parade. And don't you think for one moment they're going to give you one either. It's true. But always be prepared to defend yourself with the Most High assistance. And he says, denigrating us like they always do. They didn't call us people Yehudites. They call us niggers now. And so on and so forth. Porch monkeys, so on and so forth. But they tried to belittle us and degrade us just as Sanballat was doing to our ancient ones. He said, what are these feeble Yehudites doing? Will they fortify themselves? Being sarcastic. Will they offer sacrifices? Will they complete it in a day, trying to be facetious and ugly? Will they revive the stones from the heaps of rubbish, stones that are burned? Man, like I'm saying, don't look for no parade when you're with the Most High. Now, Tobiah, another conspirator, the Ammonite, which were our cousins, was beside himself. And he said, whatever they build, if even a fox goes upon it, being sarcastic also, he will break down that stone wall. And here's what our ancient response was. What should be our response in modern time, going against what the Most High says and against the Most High people? Here's a good responses. Don't go word for word and so on and so forth. We don't do that on the Real Talk for Real People show either. Our responses are ancient word. Hear, O I Elohim. We are despised, and certainly so in this contemporary life. Also, and they ask a request, turn their reproach on their own head and give them as plunder to land of captivity. Do not cover their iniquity, speaking to Yah, and do not let their sin be blotted out from before you, for they have provoked you to anger before the builders. So, in conjunction with that, we didn't stop doing what we're doing when we asked the Most High for assistance. But we continued. We built the wall, and the entire wall was joined together up to half its height. For the people had a mind to work. You got to have your minds and your hearts right. See, the ancient wall of our city was 40 feet high. So they cut it down to 50 feet. And the width of it was 8 feet wide. So instead of going up to the total 40 feet, it's 20 feet. Now it happened when Sanballat and Tobiah, the Arabs and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites, heard that the wall of Jerusalem was being restored and the gaps were beginning to be closed. As I said, they continued working. You can pray, but you could continue doing the work. And they became angry. And all of them conspired, that word go again, conspired together to come and attack Jerusalem and create confusion. They do that today. Attack us to create confusion. Nevertheless, we made our prayer. What did we do? Cause and effect. The solution. What did they do? What's the solution? Nevertheless, we made our prayers to our elder. No, they didn't call the White House. They didn't call the local congressman or mayor. They didn't walk in Black Lives Matter. They didn't walk in the gay rights movement. They didn't join the Democratic Party. They didn't join the Republican Party. No, they sought the Most High, as we should do in our endeavors today in this modern time. Because because of them, we set watch against them day and night. And in spite of the fact we made our entreaties to the Most High, we put an eye on them. See, you gotta put eyes on your enemy. Yeah, pray to the Most High. That's your solution. But that being said, you got to keep an eye on your enemy. It's just that simple. A lot of y'all like sit down eating buns and cupcake while watching reality shows that your reality pass you by and thinking y'all supposed to do all the work. You need to put in some work for yourselves. Yes, pray to the Most High. Trust in Melina because he's going to help you out, truth be told. But you better keep some eyes on your enemies. And our adversaries said they would neither know nor see anything. They in their conspiracy minds, they're saying to themselves, our adversaries in ancient times. I imagine they do the same thing in modern time, contemporary time. They will neither know nor see, and we don't, truth be told, for us the contemporary time is concerned. Because the sad thing about it, we don't know who we are, what we are, and what we should be doing. We've been socially engineered and conditioned to be niggers, walking dead Negroes, like pit bulls when it comes to one another. See another so-called Negro, hackles rise on our back, we get jealous, we get hateful, we try to destroy them like crabs in the basket. But our ancients were unlike that because they know we needed each other. There was no animosity. There was no, I'm a big one, you're a little one. There was, we all in this together. The same mindset that we should have today in these contemporary times. Because just because you don't think he's your enemy, you're living in fool's paradise. And I got some beachfront property in South Memphis I'd like to sell to you. In North Memphis too. If you're going to believe that, oh, he's just Yum Suf, our enemy. He's just Sister Nasanya's enemy. He's just Brother Katria enemy. They're all of our enemies. Okay? Just because they treat me nicer, don't make me any less an enemy than they treat you. And vice versa as far as that is concerned. As I said, you must understand the concept of the fourth kingdom. If you don't understand the concept of the fourth kingdom, you'll be totally confused about everything and anything. And you'll think they'll let you make you think that they're your friends. In reality, as my Latino friend said, I don't think so, amigo. And that's why it's inclusive when they say our adversaries said they will neither know nor see anything till we come into their midst and kill them and cause the work to cease. See, they had an agenda. Our enemies in ancient time had an agenda. As our ancients in modern time, our adversaries has an agenda to destroy the work and cause the work to cease. It's just that simple. Now it was when the Yehudites who dwelt near them came and told us 10 times, from whatever place you turn, they will be upon us. We always had some people overly concerned. And rightfully so. So therefore, Nehemiah said, therefore I positioned me in between the lower part of the wall at the openings. And I set people according to their families with their swords, their shields, their bows. And I looked and arose and said to the nobles, to the leaders, to the rest of the people, what's the key word? Well, we always tell you on the Real Talk for Real People show, because a deer and headlights can't do a damn thing but get run over. Okay? And a lot of y'all are deers and headlight if you allow fear to incapacitate you. And what is the key word? Do not be afraid of them. As our ancients said in ancient times, Yam Suf Arif and Brother Katria and my sister, dear wife, the Sonya would tell you the very same thing today. Do not be afraid of them. Remember the key word, the Elohim. That's how you don't be afraid. Great and awesome. And then come together, gather yourself together. And here's what they did. Fight for your brethren, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your houses. You have that right. And it happened when our enemies heard that it was known to us that Yah had brought their plot to nothing, that all of us returned to the wall, everyone to his work. So it was from that time on that half of my servants worked at the construction, while the other half held the spears and the shields and the bows and wore armor. And the leaders were behind all the house of Yehuda, those who built on the wall, and those who carried burden, loaded themselves, so that one hand they worked at constructing. They did two things at one time. And with the other hand, they held a weapon. Every one of the builders had his sword girded at his side as he built. And the one who sounded the trumpet was beside me, called them to arms. They were at the ready. Brothers and sisters, you have to always be at the ready, coming from captivity, in captivity, and so on and so forth. You can't say, I'm free at last. Free for what? You're under a different aspect of captivity. What they did, they pulled back on you, and they said, well, we're going to make them think they're not captives. We're going to let them be part of the system to a sense. We're going to regulate them. We'll make them give money to play football, give money to play basketball, give money to be musicians, but we'll keep them niggas on the check. And a lot of us told it, and we're happy with it. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm free at last. You get yours, Yom Sufari. Kachiel, you get yours, and I get mine. And I ain't got to gather myself together with nobody because I'm something special. All righty now. Let us continue in our studies. And then he says to the noble Nehemiah, the rulers and the rest of the people, all of us in conjunction together. And we would say the very same thing today in this captivity. The work is great and extensive, and we're separated far from one another. Yep, ain't that the truth in contemporary times? And we're separated far from one another on the wall. You have to have a sounding mechanism. We hope the Real Talk for Real People study show is one of those sounding trumpet mechanism. No, not trumpet. The work is great in a sense that we're separated far from one another. As a matter of fact, we have a sounding mechanism, United Nations of Israel.org, resurgent of the nation in modern times. The nation needs your help. This is the site that you go to. It will be up tonight. We're working on the site. And Monday, the site will be up, a skeleton portion of the site where you can go on and you can help support your nation. Not the nation that your enemies have given you, not an African American, not a so-called black person, not a so-called Negro. That's what you're not. You are the people of the LOM. You've been totally confused about everything. That's why you're confused about everything. You've been socially engineered in our condition. And for some innate reason, I'm free. You think you're free. You're not free in the least bit. They control every aspect and a component of your life. Those that are in the outer prison that are captive, and those who are in the inner prison, which are captives. I mean the local prisons, jails, and so on and so forth. That's why these studies are essential. That's why Brother Cottrell and I feel that based upon the Most High, it's imperative as elders of the nation that we do our due diligence in providing this vital information to you. You're not free. You may vote it, but what did it count for? Who did they select? Okay? All right, then. That answers the question. You certainly didn't. And so that's why it's essential that we learn to gather ourselves together. And at United Nations of Israel, you learn those mechanisms. You learn the protocol and procedure, and to help us learn to gather ourselves together, turn to the Most High first and foremost. Repent for our ancient ones, the mistakes they made, the mistakes we continue to make, and also to learn to gather ourselves together. Because for some innate reason, as I said, universally speaking, we seem to think that we're free. It's all in your minds. It's true. So we'll learn how to gather ourselves together. We'll learn how to do good for our own. I'm not saying mistreat anybody else. I'm not saying mistreat anyone from any nation. I'm saying learn how to treat your own. Learn how to treat your widow women. Learn how to treat your orphan. And learn how to treat those in need. And simply learn how to do good. Truth be told, the evidence speaks for itself. We don't even know how to do good. That's why we have been reduced to a monstrosity. And the only way you're going to learn these is let the Most High footstep be your pathway. By when I mean footstep, his words. Exactly. That's how you'll know who you are, and what you should be doing to help solidify us as people, as a nation, and to learn to work under the guidance of the elders of the nation. See, when we don't have a king or a high priest, we come under the guidance of the nation, the elders of the nation. And if you go to UnitedNationOfIsrael.org, we will help you facilitate the gathering together. We help facilitate you doing the who, what, when, where, and how, and doing it together. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. And in conclusion, so we labored in the work, and half of the men held the spears for daybreak until the stars appeared. At the same time, I also, Nehemiah said to the people, let each man in his service stay at night in rule. We want to look out for one another. He said, oh, no, don't stay on the outskirts. Y'all stay all together, gathered together in the inside, that we may be our God by night and a working party by day. We each look after each other. So neither I, my brethren, my servant, nor the men, the guard who follow me took off our clothes. We remain at the ready. As brothers and sisters, I speak, we're going to help you understand that we should always remain at the ready. We can never let our guards down. Truth be told, as our ancients, we should have the same mind. We should always remain at the ready. I'm not saying don't take your clothes off. What I'm saying is remain at the ready. Took off our clothes, except that everyone took them off. The only time they said we ever took off our clothes, remaining at the ready, when we washed them. And that speaks volumes. So you should be always prepared to defend yourself in your interests, your brethren, each other, your sons, your daughters, your wives, your houses. Now, this was in our land, but I think the same theory applies when it comes to other captivities, as far as Queen Esther was concerned. Queen Esther, in the book of Queen Esther, showed by the studies that how ancients remained gathered together in captivity, scattered about, but nevertheless, they were at the ready for instructions from Queen Esther. And so we should have the same mindset when it comes to the Most High. We should have the same mindset when it comes to one another. We should have the same loving attitude and get rid of that social engineering and conditioning of being niggers and so on and so forth, of being a mockery, something to be laughed upon, and not something that just like they were laughing at our ancient. Well, who them you who they think they are? You know, they can't do. They weak anyway. Just like they talk about us today. A lot of you don't think so. They're sitting in their market rooms and their back rooms and drinking their wines and seeing a well-laid plan come to fruition. We ain't got to kill them no more. They're doing a fine and dandy job being niggers, killing themselves because they don't know they should be precious to each other. We have reduced them to a mockery that they see them as something else, something less. So we're here to help reform that ideal and thinking so you'll learn to be the best you can be under the auspices and control of the Most High, and physically speaking, under control of your elders. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. Brother Cottrell, Sister Lasanya, may the Most High bless each of you. What is your commentary and a comment before Brother Cottrell proceed on?
All praise to the Holy One of Israel for another great lesson in our history in the book of Nehemiah.
Right.
Nehemiah is an elder who is a prophet, and in his prophecies, his abilities to gather the people and keep them on a mission from the Most High because they were at war coming from the captivity. There's people in the world that don't want Yah to get his praise, his glory, and his honor. And they would shut our nation down, which they have, to prevent that. And the work they were doing is our work today. And like they said back then, the work is great. And our people are at war. We don't realize it. We don't know it. But we are at war. And the Most High didn't really expose himself like he does to Nehemiah, or like most of the prophets that he did. Because when the prophet spoke to him, we hear, "Thus saith Yah" to him. In this chapter, we didn't hear that. What we saw was that Yah gave them common sense and protection to continue the work that they were doing. He gave them the mind to know what they had to do rather than just announce it like he did to most of the prophets. So Nehemiah went to work. He put his common sense into action. We got to protect ourselves, and we got to still do the work. And we have to put prayer first so that we're protected in the work that we do. And that's the formula. Put Yah first and do his work and make sure that you're protected. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah, Brother Kaitrell. Thank you very much, my brother and friend. And my wife, Sister Nasanya, I'm going to ask her, do she have any commentary? Do she want to continue to proceed forward? Okay. All right. I guess we're going to proceed forward then, Brother Kaitrell. I guess Nasanya doesn't have a commentary. So I gather we proceed forward because Sister Nasanya don't seem to have a commentary. So, Brother Kaitrell, we'll proceed forward in chapter 7 of Daniel, a vision of the four beasts. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. And you kind of hinted on it in the lesson that you brought forth today about the fourth kingdom. And these four beasts represents the four kingdoms that have been in the earth and that are in the earth, because they represent one another. King Nebuchadnezzar saw it as one statue. Now the prophet Daniel, he's seeing them as separate entities, or what their spirits reflect. Each kingdom, first to the last. The book of Daniel, chapter 7, reads like this. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his mind while on his bed. And he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spoke, and I said, I saw my vision by night, the four winds of the heaven striving upon the Mediterranean Sea. Four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. And the Mediterranean Sea is significant, is because that's where the root of all four kingdoms originated. The Babylonian, the Median Persian, the Greco-Roman, and even the last kingdom. They're all centered in the Mediterranean area, which is Northeast Africa, which is part of Europe and Asia. They all meet right there in the Mediterranean. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I watched until its wings were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made to stand on the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Another beast appeared, a second like a bear, and it raised itself up on one side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. And they said to it, arise, devour much flesh. The first beast they recognize as Babylon. The second beast, which is the bear, they recognize as Media Persia, which was a fearsome empire in its own right. And after this, they looked, and there was another, like a leopard, which had on its back 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this, I saw in the vision at night a 4th beast. Now, this third beast was supposed to be the Greek Empire, Greco-Roman. Dreadful and terrible and exceedingly strong is this 4th beast. It had a great iron teeth It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped the rest with his feet. And it was different from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. I considered the horns where they came up among them, another like horn before the three of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. And there in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. And he's talking about this fourth kingdom, which has the ability to communicate worldwide, and it exceedingly destructive, dreadful and terrible, exceedingly strong. They call themselves superpowers now. I watched until the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days was seated, whose garments was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheel as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came out from before him. 1,000,000 ministered to him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. So the prophet Daniel is saying the Most High, beginning to open the books of judgment on all four of these kingdoms. He said, then I watched because the sound of the boastful words which the horn was speaking, I watched even until the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. As for the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. I saw in a night vision, and there was one like a son of man coming with the clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days and was present before him. There was given to him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all peoples, nations, and language would serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. This is the fifth kingdom that he spoke of when he interpreted the dream of the King Nebuchadnezzar, the fifth kingdom that destroyed all four that preceded it. And who's going to lead that kingdom? A lot of Christians like to lean on this chapter and say that it's Jesus Christ, but it's not. They call him the Son of Man, but way before they called Jesus Son of Man, the Most High was calling Ezekiel the Son of Man. So that phrase that they're using here, they've taken it out of context. And we know that Yah is promising the kingdom to only one man, and that king is King David. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me. I approached one of those who were standing by and asked him the truth of all of this. He's speaking to one of the Melokim, one of the angels. So he told me and made known to me the interpretation of these things. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So it's basically the same dream in a different manner that King Nebuchadnezzar saw when he was dreaming about these four kingdoms. Then I desired to know the truth about the fourth beast. Why? Because he said that was the one that was more different than the previous three, more destructive, more terrible, which we're living in now, which was different from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and its nails of bronze, which devoured, broke in pieces, and stamped the rest with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the others which came up, and before whom three fell, right? 3 kingdoms before it. Even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke boastful words, whose look was more stout than its fellows. And I believe this communication ability that the empire we're living under now has, an ability to see with their cameras and their videotaping of everything that goes on in the world, are the eyes that he probably was talking about. Because if you step outside your house today, there's a camera somewhere that's going to pick you up. They didn't have that before in the 3 previous kingdoms. It goes on to say, the 10 horns out of this kingdom are the 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be different from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. He shall speak words against the Most High, which they do presently, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, which they are doing as we speak. As Yam Suf like to say, we are monstrosity. We're under what they call Stockholm syndrome, to where we don't even know who we are, where we came from, or what our roots are. We are worn out. We don't act like our ancient fathers acted when they were in captivity. We're divided and we're conquered mentally, spiritually, and physically. We are definitely worn out. It says they would seek to wear out the saints of the Most High and plan to change times and law, which we know they do. That daylight savings time kills me. And the fact that they change, which they're about to do, their year in the dead of winter, as opposed to in the spring, because we're about to go into January 1st, and they're about to turn over that time into a new year in the dead of winter, when our calendar begins in the spring. The beginning of months is in the spring, when life begins. They start their new year in the dead of winter. They set time back. What else do they do with time? Oh, yeah, they don't use the moon insofar as counting time like our ancient fathers did. It says, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and a half a time. So this kingdom is given a time and a half a time. And I believe that half a time means that time will be sped up in the end, because every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So the end time that we're living in now is going to be speed up. They're not going to get as much time as the first two kingdoms had to flourish and to overrule the world, to dominate like they did. Time is shorter. But the court shall sit for judgment, because Yah's bringing judgment, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it forever. This last kingdom that we're living in is going to be destroyed forever. Then the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of all the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. And we're not talking about Christian saints. We're talking about the nation of Israel, the Israelites that make it through the judgment. They will be considered saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, not in heaven, but right here on earth. And all dominions shall serve and obey him. Who's him? Yah Almighty. Every kingdom on earth, all the dominions will serve one creator. No more false gods, no more false religions. After the judgment, all the world will know who the true creator of the heavens and the earth truly is. At this point, the matter ended. As for me, Daniel, my thoughts troubled me much, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. And I would imagine seeing visions like that of what the power sources in the earth have been, and for him, what they would be, because he didn't see this kingdom right here. He saw it, but it mesmerized him because he didn't understand it. We're seeing it, and it has mesmerized us because we are worn out. But it troubled him to know that our people will be worn out in the manner that we are, and how the story would end up. So the fact that he saw this vision and he knew what was coming, and it still disturbed him, means that it's going to be some serious contemplation that we have to make in order to make it through to this last kingdom that's going to last forever and ever. Because everybody's not going to make it. Even though we have all this information before us, a lot of people are not going to take it to heart. And we should keep this matter in our minds and in our hearts, because Yah's laying it out. It's written, he's preserved it, and we have no excuses to say, we didn't know, or you just didn't pay attention to it. We cast his words behind us. So all praise, honor, and glory to the Holy One of Israel for our prophets. And you could see that the book of Revelation gleans a lot of its information from the book of Daniel. Praise Yah. They call it plagiarism.
Praise Yah, brother. This is Yom Super Reef. My brother and I, my fellow elder, my friend, my confidant, my brother that stands in the gaps with us, we've done our due diligence as elders of the nation. We provided you the truth. With our hands, we could do no more. Your blood is not on our hands anymore. Your blood is going to be on your own hands. And we can do no more as far as these studies are concerned for today. But most high willing, we'll be back Monday to share with you more studies. But that being said, the most high word is going to work in spite of us or irregardless of us. But for you, it works individually and perfectly and spiritually if you work it. You allow the most high footstep to be your pathway. By virtue, it means his words. You'll lean on it, you'll trust in it. You won't be confused about much. You won't be afraid of anything anymore because you will be enlightened. Your horizon will expand and blossom and bloom. And thus you will learn to gather yourselves together. That's what it's all about, people. Just like our ancients. They wouldn't know one Nehemiah and so on and so forth, nobles, common people talking about, I'm something special. They were all of one heart and all of one mind. And they were all humble before the Most High. That's how they could work together. And that's how we can work together. Humility is our spinach, like spinach to Popeye. Not chest stuck out, stuck on stupid, running amok, watching reality shows while our reality passes us by. It's humble, learning to turn to the Most High away from your idolatry. Seek his entreaty, learning to pray for our ancient ones for the mistakes that continue, where we continue to make many more mistakes far worse than they did. Also, it helps us to learn how to gather ourselves together. Along with that, it teaches us to learn how to take care of our folks, our widow women, our orphan, our needy. Truth be told, it simply teaches us to learn to do good because we don't know. And the evidence speaks for itself. And you can get mad at me all you want, never mind. It makes no difference to me because it doesn't matter to Yom Suf Arif because it doesn't mean anything. But the evidence speaks volumes. You can turn on the news every day, anywhere in this nation, or universally speaking. We have become a travesty, a mockery, a laughing stock among nations. Mainly because we don't know who we are, what we are, and what we should be doing. Praise Yah. And for you individually, don't worry about the next Hebrew Israelite. You work on yourself. The Most High word works for you individually if you work it. It's just that simple. We try to make everything hard. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. And may your weekend be blessed and enlightened by the Most High. Brother Cottrell, Sister Nisanya, do you have any closing remarks and comments?
I just wanted to say, have a safe weekend. Shalom, family, and I'll see you Monday.
Praise Yah. Thank you, Sister Nisanya. Brother Cottrell.
Once again, giving thanks and praise to the Holy One of Yisrael for the opportunity to share his words with the family, with the world. And I'm just a worker like these Israelites we found out coming out of Babylon. They had their mind on the work that they had to do. And we have work to do that Yah left us to do, that we should be focused on, executing Yah's plan. And hopefully this platform will help people energize and get in the mix because time is running out. So we thank y'all once again for the opportunity to share this with you. And we hope that it takes effect for all of us to the glory and honor of our Creator. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. We love y'all. And may the Most High bless you. Shalom and good night.
Good night.
nor sat in the seat of the scornful. Delight is in the law of the Lord, and in His law does He meditate both day and night. And He shall be like a tree planted by streams of water, that bringeth forth its fruit in its season, and whose leaf does not wither, and in whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. And whose leaf does not wither, and in whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Now wait a minute, not so the wicked. Hallelujah. Oh, they are like the chaff which the wind blowing is blowing. Therefore the wicked shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord regardeth the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked shall perish. I just came here to tell you, I just came here to tell you, for the Lord regardeth the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked shall perish. Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will. Oh, no, no, no. Ooh, oh, no. Light is in the law of the Lord, and in His law does He meditate both day and night. And He shall be like a tree planted by streams of water. That's what I'm talking about. That bringeth forth His fruit in its season. Yeah.
And the leaf doth not wither,
That's what it is.
and whatsoever he doeth, it shall prosper.
Yeah. Oh, no, no. Yeah. Now wait a minute. And whose leaf does not wither. Hallelujah. And in whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. I just want to testify. And whose leaf does not wither. Happy is the man. Whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. I just need to testify. Hey, hey, what the Most High has done for me. Oh, now wait a minute. Hallelujah.